welcome back. So today in our gameplay programming series with the Unreal Engine, we are going to talk about the Unreal Engine blueprints. So it's a very most powerful and versatile tool that can be used across different fields. Okay, so we will start talking about the very basic stuff that we can able to achieve with the blueprints. So let's get started. And this is the topic that I'm going to just cover in this video. Introduction to the blueprints, and we can understand the blueprint editor interface, and we can talk about what is meant by the variables for this part 1, and we can see some of the examples like what is actually meant by the variables, so that comparing with the real-time scenario can help us to understand it better, right? And in the next video we will cover about the flow control topics along with the functions. So let's get this started with. So okay, I'm back to the engine. Here you have seen we have already talked about those interfaces, right? So in this video, I'm going to talk about the content browser along with how to create the blueprints first. Okay, so there are a lot of different blueprint terminologies are there. Like you can create a material blueprint, you can create a VFX blueprint, whatever. You can create a animation blueprint as well, but today we are going to talk about the basics, right? So actor blueprint is perfect pitch for this one. So I'm going to create a right click and I'm going to create a blueprint class. Once again I'm showing up, so right click on the content browser in the area, so right click on here and go for the blueprint class. So here we have the actor class. So there is a terminology in the Unreal Engine wherever you are using the blueprints, right? You need to use the keyword like BP underscore, let's say your purpose. I'm so going to say it as the gun. So here we will see this is how it was first time when you have created the blueprint. Okay. So here we have the class settings, class defaults, details panel, and a lot of the different stuff. So we will talk about this. This will be mostly same to the same editor interface that we have seen. We already know how to dock our workflow. Drag and drop this one and just place it here. So here you see, now we will cover this region first because this is the very important part here. So save common option, and this option, if you're gonna click it up, so what is the last active blueprint that you have used in the content browser, it will navigate you to that particular blueprint. Okay, and compile, obviously. So if there was any error without compilation, the game won't start. Okay, you can't able to start the game. So compile button, and you have the option like save on compile. So some people click on compile and you need to manually click on save back again to save it up. So if you're gonna think about like it's a two-step process, if you are lazy enough, you can use this option. Okay, and this is for revision control, which means like I said, GitHub and those purpose, which we will cover later about those topic. Okay, this is mainly for useful of the revision control. Okay, and find option can help us to find out the functions and variables in the particular blueprint. And I don't use this option, hide unrelated. I'm not sure about this one. I can go for the class settings. Then it's a very most important topic. Like class settings will help you, like it will give you the starting point, like how you can able to customize your class. For example, all the classes in the Unreal Engine will start from the U object. Okay, U object. But this particular blueprint, remember we have created it with the right click blueprint class. We have created the actor class as a parent class. So what is meant by the class? We will cover those things later in the next video, or maybe the after the next video we will cover about what is meant by the class. It is the concept that is related to the object oriented programming. um, Apart from this, we have a very important option here, which is like the interfaces. Okay, so interfaces are very important. Like it will support us the decoupled way of communication. So in a gameplay programming, we have a lot of the different elements that can just need to communicate with each other, and that cause a programmatical system collision. So we will use the interface to solve them. That's advanced concept. We will see that when the series getting progressing. And talking from the class settings, that's all about those things. And class defaults will talk about the starting point of the class. Like when you create a class, what is the default value for the properties? So you can call those things as the properties. Okay, so this one is the category. How to read it? For example, replication category, always relevant property. So you need to just call it like this. Okay, and based on the details panel, you already know for each and every components here, the details panel will get changed for each, and if you click any variable, if you click create any variable, the details panel will change. We will talk about that. And talking about the details panel, we have a lot of the different options that can be customized for the class. Okay, and if you come back to the left panel, you can see the components tab. So components tab, what is mean by the components? So components is like the um, building block of a blueprint. So let's say, like I said, there is a concept of coupling and decoupling. So if you are writing your code, if you are making a component based manner, it will be easy for the people to understand, okay, this component can do this kind of purpose. Okay, so components can be helpful for maintaining the hierarchy and to structure and to use case of the blueprint. For example, now by default we have the root component, because with the help of the root component only the engine can able to understand like this is the location of this particular blueprint in the world. Okay, I can drag and drop and I can place it in the level. So without the help of the root component, the engine cannot understand, engine can't able to find out what is the location of the character. So it is the representation of the location basically for the transform. Okay, then we have the components tab. We will add some. For example, if I have placed the blueprints there, so you can see totally 74 actors are there. I gonna click here and press the delete. As you can see, 73 actors now. Okay, if I press it up here, it means this blueprint is successfully in the level. If I press the play, but I can't able to see anything, right? So if I go for the blueprint, you can ask like, okay, there is some small gizmo is there, but why I can't able to see anything when I press the play? Because there is no purpose of showing the gizmos in the runtime. So what can you do is like you can add a particular thing like a um, cube. So you can add a cube. So you can compile it. Now you can see, you can able to see visually something. Okay. So what is the purpose of the cube component here? So cube component is currently portrayed as the visual representation for the blueprint. Okay. So this is what the component is. So each and every component have its own purpose, which we can able to create our own components as well in the future. Okay. We will talk more about that when we start talking about the programming deeper. My blueprint. So next one is my blueprint. My blueprint will allow you to just customize your blueprint in terms of your functions, variables, macros, event dispatches, those kind of stuff can be found here. So what are the datas in your blueprint? We will call it as the variables. And what is the purpose of manipulating the data? What the blueprint can do? We can collectively use the functions to represent them, and what are the use cases or what are the features that Unreal gave you already, so that can be found under the functions tab. Okay, so we will talk a lot about this one. So now next topic is like I already said, we will talk about the variables. Okay, variables. So in programming, variables are the very fundamental part that it is defined as the particular data. So variables are called as data. For example, let's say if I say age, okay, if I say age, you can raise a question like whose age? What do you mean by age? So it is very abstract, right? But if it was combined with a meaning like get my age, so my age, so 27, so it could be now meaningful. Okay, this guy age is 27. So like this could be now meaningful. Okay, so like this we can create our own variable that will that will talk about piece of information. Okay, so here the variables are found here. So I can click out here, I can click the plus variable, I can say um, what is the how many cubes are there. So I can say um, count, I can say count. So it will be an integer. So talking about the variables, we have the two major parts. One is the data type, and second part is the variable name. Okay, I will use the paint to demonstrate this better. So as you can see here, um, how the variables will get represented. So it will be mainly of two parts. One is the variable name. Okay, I set age. Okay, I set age, but you need to tell the computer whether what are the possible ways that you can able to give. So let's say the variable name is age, but what is the data type? You need to tell the computer. That's a very important part. So int variable name, so you need to write as int age. Okay, this is how you can able to write a variable. So the first part syntax is data type followed by that variable name. So two parts are there. Okay, so two parts are there. So data type talks about the um, purpose of variable and type of the variable, and variable name is up to you. Variable name should not be same in the blueprints, it won't allow you. Okay, so I can write some of the variables like we will primarily use four different data types frequently. One is the integer, and another one is the boolean. Next one is the um, character, and another one is the float. Okay, float for decimal values, integer for whole numbers, boolean for zeros and ones, which means true or false, and string or character um, for the naming kind of things, for letters and to represent a name. Those kind of stuff can be found here. Okay, so I will write four different kinds of variable now. So int age. Okay, then float score. Then we will talk a boolean, right? So bool has arrived. Then the fourth part is string, or people call it as char. So char means a single letter. Okay, single letter. So let's say starting letter. So let's say starting letter. Okay, so this is how a variable will be there. So you can see the common syntax is equal to the data type. I can extend this one. So data type followed by the variable name. So this is the common syntax. Now in the blueprint you don't need to worry too much about it, since it was already the things have been in the background stuff. Okay, so we will get back to the blueprint now. So back here, so you see the count variable, right? So it's of the integer, so I can create a new variable now. So I can say click the plus icon here. Maybe I can say is this cube is visible or not. Okay, so say is visible, is cube visible. So is cube visible? So if you're gonna ask the question by yourself, what is the answer? It will be like around true or false. Yes, it's visible. No, it's not visible. So only the two possible options are there. So I can able to choose the boolean. Okay, then I can create a one more variable, so that will represent a float. So let's say um, what is your score? Score. Like I can say, I can, let's say, health variable. So health will be mostly in most of the games, health will be float. Like the health will be 80.5 percentage or 85 point some percentage. So health will have the decimal values. So mostly we can use the float for that. Okay, and we have the final variable, right? So final variable, we can have the name of blueprint or name of factor. So you can, let's say, actor name. Okay, so actor name, you can have three different kinds of things. One is name, string, text. We will cover this topic in a shorts video. It's a very simple topic, very interesting one. Only with a subtle difference. Okay, so for now I can go for the string. Okay, so for the string, okay, for the string, so I can just go for here. So actor name string, I can compare this. You can see there is no error. We have created four different kinds of variables. Okay, so here you see we have the different kinds of windows or tabs are there. So construction script, it's like the design time area that can be that gets called. So we will also cover this in a separate topic. And event graph, so event graph will allow you to specify your logic that can be done in the runtime. So this is the very important area in the blueprint where we feed our logic. Okay, so we will talk about the possible operations that can be possible with the variables in the next video, and along with the flow controls that can be a better pair. So for now, this is far better enough. You can check out some of the references as well, and we will get back tomorrow. Yeah.